Hello there. Once again, it's Anton from Antonable Bay. Thank you for stopping by the collection room. Today I'm taking a look at some more Alpha Flight comics. I'm hoping to eventually get through the entire set. I do have the entire set. I bought for the third time. And I just wanted to have it all kind of gone through at this point. So we're up to issues 41 through 44. If you want to see what's happened before now, or some of the other earlier issues, feel free to look back through my old videos. They will all be posted and hopefully all on a playlist. Now, this is one cover that came up a lot. And anytime you're looking for Alpha Flights, usually anywhere you go, you're going to see this cover. It's very much an old school looking cover, but yet it's issue 41. This is well into the series. But it looks like something you'd see from like the 40s or 50s, maybe even 60s of Marvel, because you're just fighting an alligator. A bunch of alligators, crocodiles, or whatever. And it just looks kind of a throwback cover. Northstar punching a gator in the face, and you got the purple girl over there being rescued. And I think this is pretty much the first appearance of the purple girl, which does take the series into a different, little bit of a different direction. If you're not familiar with the Purple Man, if you haven't seen the Marvel Knights series, what was it? Jessica Jones, dealt with the Purple Man. This is the Purple Girl. This is his daughter. So the Purple Man he just speaks to people, and by his powers or whatever, they do whatever he says. And he uses that to have sex with this woman and ends up leaving her with a purple child years later that turns purple. The girl, whose father is a monster, clearly also has his same power, but she does not want to use it for evil like her father. And that's kind of tough because it is a very easily given over to misuse power. This is also where they put Madison Jeffries makes the team. Like, she wants him on the team to replace Marina. They vote him in. So there's quite a bit that happens in this issue. She does eventually later get like pretty steady with Jeffries, I think. And I think he was always way cooler than Mac. Mac was not a very cool character. And yeah, Purple Girl, who's massively in love with Northstar for some reason. I think she ends up putting the whammy on him. Yeah. And this girl, every time she says anything to the person turns purple and then obeys her. And so Northstar has to like lose this competition to go save this girl from jumping off a cliff. I think she uses this power to try and get Northstar to get freaky with her, but I'm not positive. And I think then she decides that she doesn't want to be like her dad. Yep, she wants him to be her boyfriend, bring her flowers, all the stuff. She has like control over him like a robot. It's very strange. And a little bit, it's definitely a weird predatory type story. Because it is a young teenage girl who is basically controlling a grown man and to do her bidding. It's very weird. It did tackle some strange dynamics to it. So yeah, but that doesn't mean I don't love you. I do. He says, like your father loved your mother. A freak like me will take love any way she can get it. Yeah, there's definitely some twisted aspects to this. Stuff that I really didn't like. Like, I understand that there's some quality of storytelling to that. And there's a lot of aspects of this type of creepy behavior, questionable relationships, manipulation. X-Men will start tackling later on. In their various issues and stuff like that, but this is kind of before a lot of that. This is 87. I mean, this isn't even the 90s yet. And they're hitting some pretty weird topics for a comic book delving into, because at this point, really, most other comics were still just telling stories. You were starting to get a few. Marvel was starting to do a few of these things, like the Iron Man alcoholism story. DC had the whole crack fiend story with Speedy and Green Arrow and Green Lantern. You know, they were starting to basically shed off a lot of the innocence of comics in a lot of ways, and starting politicizing a lot of stuff. Different ways of looking at things. Cloak and Dagger did this too with a lot of the drugs and things like that. And it's just like, well, I understand why they did that. They were trying to maintain relevance and try and speak to the populace. But in my opinion, it was the downfall. And within the span of 10 years, I mean, by 97, but certainly by the year 2000, it was to the point I'm done. I'm done reading new comics. By the time I stopped, man, there was more about who they were banging in the books than who they were fighting or why they were fighting or anything. So yeah, in one aspect, this told more of a mature themed, interesting story. A lot of these did. In another way, it totally just pulled comics away from kids. And well, actually, you'll see these don't even have a Comic Code Authority badge on them at this point. But it helped evolve comics into what they are today. And I wouldn't call that a good thing necessarily, because I don't read comics today. I don't want comics from today. They are not worth my time. Certainly not worth my money. And even though I appreciate a lot of these stories from this time period, I mean, the Marvel in the 80s and 90s was dynamic. I mean, it's awesome. It was what I was growing up on. But there just got to be too much, what do you want to call it? Outside influence. And instead of just being like comics for comics' sake, there were so many like messages that had to be slipped in, and we were doing all these different things and tackling all these weirder subjects that, do I necessarily need to know who my superheroes are sleeping with? Not really. I never really did care. I didn't think that that's what the book was really about, but it turns out, you know, by 2001, I'm specifically thinking of this run of X-Men that just, it totally drove it out of me. And I was done. That was it with me and new comics. So like I was saying, it's tough because I love these for what they were in the time, but it also makes me a little bit sad to know that, oh, well, I can see this is that type of maturity creeping in, that type of, and I don't even want to call it maturity, because, you know, I mean, Casablanca is mature, but it's not entirely about who's banging who. I don't know. Take it, I sound like an old man. I just know that, and you see this type of stuff, and you know that it just kind of kept growing from there, and kind of took over comics, and now comics are, like I said, comics are what they are now because of titles and stories that wanted to go a different direction. And that's how they are now. And that's why I don't read them now. I guess it's just weird to think about. Well, I wouldn't say I'm hating the art in here. But, you know, in the last video, everything was underwater and it looked really boring backgrounds. We're not underwater now. And we're just running like the most drab backgrounds. And see, when you do stuff like this, okay, you got a yellow background, purple background. Okay, I don't mind that. When they're all the same color, it just feels like you didn't do backgrounds. You just blobbed them all the same color. Yeah, I'm going to say the art was really not speaking to me much. I do like that they're getting ready to go back to their home mansion. I love their mansion that they stay in. And this ad for Strikeforce Morituri looks pretty good too. Anyway, may have got off on a slight rant on this video. Just looking at how the times change. But anyway, that's Alpha Flight 41 through 44. I hope to get through the rest of them. We'll see what I can do. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. That's my story. Catch you guys later.